Hi folks, Chris McClure here. I wanted to record a short video just to follow up on the one that I recorded a couple weeks ago to get you oriented and introduced to the course. That was the last video. This video is meant as a follow-up to that, just to tie up some loose ends and to answer some of the more common questions that some students have had. So first of all, I sent out a syllabus to everyone's DMAC email accounts. And in the previous video, in the first video, I had already gone through all of this information, and no one seems to have had any other questions about this regarding anything else except for the textbook. The textbook should be available to you in any of the DMAC campus bookstores. Again, look for this title here, Introductory Algebra, 12th edition by Bittinger. Now, I've got this ISBN number listed for it. Either this one here, which, by the way, this one I'm highlighting here is one that you should look for if you are purchasing it elsewhere. But if you purchase it through our bookstore, then they are probably using this ISBN number right here. Okay. This one that I've highlighted here is probably has a soft cover to it. Made with slightly cheaper materials. What we're trying to do with this one here, which sometimes is called a DMAC Special Edition, is meant to try to keep the cost minimized as low as possible. By the way, if you buy the textbook through any of the DMAC bookstores, it should come with the MyMathLab access code already with it physically. If you purchase this textbook outside of DMAC, like for example from an online bookseller, it may or may not come with MyMathLab, and I can't tell you if it will or won't. Usually, though, if you buy it from a big online bookseller, it'll tell you. They will tell you whether it comes with MyMathLab, MyLab, and Mastering or whatever access code or not. But if you get your your textbook without the access code, you still will need to purchase access. And I see most of the class already has access, so I know I'm preaching to the choir. So anyway, that's pretty much the last. Oh, hold on, just one last little bit about the syllabus here. I'm probably next week, and today is May 31st, so around June 7th or 8th, I'm going to, that week, start sending out emails to the students in the class to ask you where you plan to take your midterm and final exams. And like it says here, and I already talked about this on the first video, if you live within about 50 or so miles of any of the DMAC campuses or learning centers, so we're talking about Carroll, Newton, Perry, West Des Moines, South Ridge, Ankeny, the Ames Hunziker Center, Central/Urban Campus, whatever, then you are expected to take your midterm and final exams at that campus/learning center location at their testing center. Okay? But if you live out of the area and it's not convenient for you to get to any of the DMAC campuses to take your test, you still need to take your two tests in a proctored center, proctored learning environment. So I've put out a proctor form. I'll send it out again for those people who need to use a proctor. Again, if you live out of the area. There are acceptable locations and not acceptable locations. There are personnel, people who are allowed and not allowed to be proctors. Okay, so look at that Word document that I've sent out. As a matter of fact, I've got a copy of it. Excuse me. I've got a copy of the proctor form that I've put out on Blackboard, and it looks something like this one right here. Oh, sorry, I've got allergies going today. This is what the proctor form looks like. So again, this will only apply to just a handful of the individuals in the class who might live out of the area. So you could see the what's allowed and what's not allowed, what's okay and not okay for proctors and locations, etc. You fill out this information as a student, take it to the proctor or proctoring site, and they fill this out, and they send it to me directly. The proctor or proctor site, well, they'll scan and email it to me. There's my DMAC email. Excuse me, there's my fax number, and here is my physical address, my mailing address, if they need to send it to me by snail mail. I prefer that your proctor would be able to scan and email. That's pretty much how we do it in today's modern world, but if they need a fax or a snail mail it to me, that's acceptable as well. Okay, all right, so just to follow up also with the Blackboard, I've got the Blackboard site set up. I've had it set up now for quite a while, since early last week before, I think, shortly after I sent out this video first time. You go to the DMAC website, click on Login, then you click on Access Online Courses, and then you log in using your username and password. If you don't know what that is, I think the extension is 7300 to tech support here at the DMAC campus. Locate your course over here on the right hand side. For us, it's elementary algebra. There's really not a whole lot here, but from time to time I will make announcements, and then those announcements will be placed here. Like, for example, when we have the midterm and final exams coming up, I'll place those announcements here as well. By the way, when I make announcements, those announcements will also go to your DMAC email as well. There's the syllabus located at this link here. Again, not much to look at there. My instructor information. Of course, I just run a 5K. My wife took this photo, and hot and sweaty. I'll probably update that with a more professional looking photograph here pretty soon. But anyway, click on course content. I'll put any links for any videos that I record here in this folder. Proctor form, there's a copy of it right there. And when I put out practice exams and solutions, so you'll see them here in this folder. Also, after the midterm exam, and I make sure that everyone has taken it in the class, then I'll put the solutions to the midterm, the actual midterm, here in this file as well. When you click on My Grades, and I'm not going to click it because there's nothing to show, but you could see when I post midterm grades and final grades, they'll appear here. The scores of everything that you do in My Math Lab is not going to be reflected here in my grades, except at midterm and final, when I estimate a midterm course or homework grade at the midterm and final. So anyway, more on that later. So you'll see a midterm homework grade and a final homework grade, and you'll see those posted in course content. Let's talk real quick about my math lab / homework. All right, so in the syllabus, I had posted information on the very last page. Yeah, there we go. The very last page is the registration instructions to get into my math lab. Like I said, most of the students enrolled in the course already have enrolled in my math lab, but there's a few who haven't. This right here is the course ID. Some of you have sent me emails already asking me, what's the course ID, what's the course ID? Well, here it is. And you can go ahead and copy and paste it if you want. Here's the website. It'll come up here in a minute now. Sorry, my internet's running a little bit slow today. If you still need to register for My Math Lab, which is our online homework portal, then you click on the link here and follow the instructions. It's really easy. Otherwise, you click on sign in. I'm going to go ahead and sign in, just point out a couple of things, answer some questions that some students have had. Go ahead and locate your course, Math 063 WW4 Elementary Algebra. You click on homework, and this shows all of the homework. By the way, notice that due dates and times are all located down here in the left-hand column. All the homework for the entire course is loaded up here. And all you really need to do is to make sure that homework is done by the deadline. I have the deadlines such that each chapter's homework is due all on the same day. So all of Chapter 1 homework is due on June 7th. All of Chapter 2 homework is due on June 14th. Today is May 31st. All of the Chapter R homework is due today at midnight. When you see this symbol right here, you hover over it, that means that in order for you to do this review homework assignment, that you need to do something else. You need to do the chapter review quiz. You click on this link here for quizzes and tests. So you need to do this review quiz first before you do the review homework. By the way, if you want to see everything all together, just click on Show All. You might have to navigate around a little bit. So this shows everything, the review quiz and then the review homework. All right? And then, to wrap everything up, here's a post test. But just a little bit more about the review homework. When you see the symbol and it tells you have to do the review quiz, based on how well you do, or not so well, based on how you do with the review quiz, that'll determine how many problems that you do on the review homework. The better that you do on the review quiz, the fewer problems that you'll do on the review homework, and vice versa. The worse that you do on the review quiz, the more problems that you'll do on the review homework. So there is that extra motivation for you to make sure that you are prepared going into the review quiz, because that'll determine how much work that you have to do with the review homework. Again, make sure that you manage your time so that you get all of the chapter homework done before the due date. You have to get through all of these assignments by the due date. By the way, Um, like I say in the syllabus, please don't ask me for extensions for deadlines unless you truly have a bona fide issue in your life, like a hospitalization or a death in the family or something, and in which case I'll need some sort of documentation for me to consider, okay? Again, you'll use these little arrows to navigate through the list, etc., etc. Okay. One person was asking about videos. Well, you know, a lot of times these my math lab courses will have videos attached to each section. Let's go to chapter 1, for example, section 1.1. There's an e-text, there's a video, and my math guide for the section. So look at all of those stuff here first before doing the homework, okay? So you do step 1 here, look at all this stuff. You could do a reading check. You don't have to. You can go straight to the homework, but I recommend that you do all of these one step at a time. One, boom, boom, boom. And then this would take you to the homework for section 1.1, for example, without even going through the homework tab, okay? All right, so something for you to look at. I'm not going to record any lecture videos. These videos that you'll see here when you click on these links are so much better produced than what I could produce. Not to say I do a bad job, it's just that they're better. All right, so with that said, please let me know if you have any questions about anything. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And like I said, I'll be in contact with you later this summer, probably next week, to start asking you about your testing location. Okay? So thanks for your attention, and take care, and good luck. Bye.